Everybody, it's been 2 weeks since my last video and a lot has happened since then. So I wanted to get an update video out today about what has happened, how that fight's going. I want to talk about different events that are coming up, some groups that you can get involved with, how things are working in fighting these mandates, specific people who are fighting back in this fight. And I'm going to save a shout out for the end, so make sure you stick around for that. So I got to tell you guys, that last video I put out, I was expecting maybe, I don't know, 600 views or so. And currently we're sitting at 36,000 views, which is absolutely incredible. So thank you to everyone who shared that, put it on platforms, got the word out there. It's so important that we communicate and we get the messages out that we need to. 85% of the views on that video came from external links and direct links. So it wasn't, the YouTube algorithm sharing it, because screw the YouTube algorithm. But people out there sharing it and putting that message out there for everyone to hear. I hope that we can continue to spread this message and get it out there. If anyone can help me with that, if anybody has any contacts that would be willing to share this and put it out on large social media platforms that they might have, I'd appreciate any help we can get in getting this message out. So I know of at least one big event that's coming, and that's a rally at the Oregon State Capitol on September 18th at noon. If you can make it, please come out there, add your voice, add your presence. We need to have a good showing to signify that we're not going to stand for these ridiculous mandates. It's going to be a nonpartisan event, so please leave political stuff at home. I know that there's a lot of feelings about political things and political figures right now, but these mandates are nonpartisan. We're just trying to work on this issue. It's going to be a family-friendly event, and most importantly, this is going to be a peaceful event. Do not come if you want to start problems and be violent and get stupid. Just stay home. If that's your aim, we're going to go out there and peacefully use our voices and use our presence to show that we won't stand for these mandates. That's the big one I know of. If you have other events that you're aware of coming up, please share them in the comments and get that out there as well. Another way that we need to get this message out there and be able to spread information is through social media groups. I'm a member of several. I'll throw them out here right now. Oregonians for Medical Freedom, Oregon Educators for Medical Freedom, America First Oregonians, Oregonians for America, and Free Oregon, among a few others. But those are kind of the main ones that I'm paying attention to right now. A lot of folks in those groups are doing a lot of good work. I'm going to share links for all of those in the description, so check those out, join up. So the way that we win this fight is by standing up and showing that we have the numbers. There was a recent example of this in Portland, and although Portland mandated vaccines for all city employees, police officers were exempted. And the reason was because the Portland Police Association told the city, hey, if you do this, we're not going to have enough officers. They're already at critical staffing shortages, and mandating this vaccine for the officers would put them at ridiculously critical staffing shortages where they would not be able to operate anymore. So the city had to pull back. They had no other choice but to exempt police officers from it. So this is just an example of how this works. If we have enough numbers, if we come together and say, nope, we won't do it, they have to back off of this. I also wanted to talk about some people, some individuals who are fighting back against this publicly. I want to throw some shout outs out there. So we'll start with the firefighters, because we love our firefighters. First of all, Aurora Fire Chief Joshua Williams. I loved one of the comments he made. He said, in the old America, we used to have choices. Frankly, I do not recognize the country that I live in right now. I think a lot of us are feeling that these days. And I think that was a pretty strong message. The Bend Firefighters Association Local 227, they put out a message that said they defend their members' right to choose when it comes to personal medical decisions. Casey Johnson, the president of the Local 922 Baker City Professional Firefighters, provided testimony to the Baker City City Council and stated that it would basically shutter their department if the mandates were to go through, because people would walk off the job. So another job well done there. I'm going to throw out some shout outs to county sheriffs who have stood up against this. I think I mentioned one in the last video, but we're going to add some to that list. So we got Douglas County Sheriff John Hanlon, Baker County Sheriff Travis Ash, Polk County Sheriff Mark Garton, Coos County Sheriff Craig Zanny, all standing up and saying that they will not force vaccines on their employees. So good on them. You can see how many people are coming out and standing up against this in positions of power. Also, there's a lawsuit in the news recently. The Oregon Fraternal Order of Police have filed a lawsuit along with a couple of firefighters. Again, we love our firefighters, and we'll see how that lawsuit goes. I wish them luck in that because, you know, that's going to be something that could affect all of us, and hopefully we get a good outcome on that. I want to throw a little bit of shame out there on the city of Salem. They mandated vaccines not for city employees, but only for healthcare and first responders. So now we have a couple different classes of citizen based on occupation. Not a winning strategy in my opinion. Like I said, I wanted to save the best for last, so I wanted to throw a shout out to Trooper Zachary Kowing. If you haven't seen his video, I'll have a link in the description below. But Trooper Kowing spoke out against these mandates in a courageous fashion. He did it in a highly visible fashion, and he knew that there was going to be ramifications for what he did, but he had the courage to stand up and say what needed to be said, and he's probably going to have a little price to pay for that. But he had the courage to say what needed to be said, and for that, you know, good job, Trooper. Hey, brother, if you want to get a beer sometime, I'm happy to buy. I'd love to meet up with you. Anyways, thank you all for your support. Please share as much as you can. Please support anything you can in this fight. Hopefully I'll see you at the rally on September 18th. Until then, fight like hell because your life depends on it.